Let's talk about absolute value. Absolute value, again, might be one of those concepts that you're familiar with. Oftentimes, kids call it easy, but they also don't have a full understanding of what absolute value means, so I think it is an important thing to go over. When we look at the definition of absolute value, it reads as the distance between 0 and a point representing a real number. On a number line, it is the distance from the number and 0. Okay? So it is the distance from a number and 0. I want to talk about that, and we'll review that when we go over the illustration and mnemonic section. But the other way that we usually think about this is absolute value is often seen with these little bars. We see little expressions like the absolute value of, a number 6 is 6. So when you see these bars, as we see down here, you can see them in our example section, we need to find the absolute value, or the distance of that number from 0 on a number line. And the easiest way to do that is to just write the number in its positive form. So the absolute value of -5 is 5. The absolute value of 116 is 116. And the absolute value of -20 is 20. Right? Regardless of whether we have the absolute value of a positive or negative number, the answer is always positive. The answer is always positive in these examples. We see absolute value illustrated perfectly over here in the illustration mnemonic section because absolute value, the definition is the distance between 0 and a point. It is that distance on a number line, distance from the number and 0, right? So if we look over here at our example, the absolute value of -5 is 5 because -5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots away from 0. Thus, 5 is the answer. Similarly, in this example down here, the absolute value of 4, we find 4 on the number line right here. And 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 spots away from 0. Thus, 4 is the absolute value. So again, that easy way is that to remember it is the absolute value of any number is always that number in its positive form is a good way to remember it, but also to remember it this way, as we've discussed visually, that just find the distance from 0 on a number line, and that'll tell you the absolute value. Also gives you some really good practice with counting on a number line. So there it is, absolute value.